Hey friends of the channel, thanks for joining me today for just a really quick video with something a little bit different but kind of the same. So in my recent playthrough of Pokemon Shining Pearl, I got to a point in the game to where I wanted to get through it a little bit easier. And I also just recently finished Pokemon Legend Arceus, where I had a bunch of Pokemon that was level 70 above, really powerful Pokemon that would really do a good job for me, and I was to the point in Shining Pearl where I could use up to level 70 Pokemon, but the most powerful Pokemon I had in my arsenal was only around level 35 to 40. So I said, okay, let's bring some more powerful Pokemon over from Legends Arceus over to Shining Pearl using Pokemon Home. Something I discovered recently. I'm sure all of you know about it, but I just wanted to share my use case with you. So let me just kind of give you a quick walkthrough on how to use Pokemon Home through your different Pokemon games, because Pokemon Home will connect to Sword and Shield, it'll connect to Shining Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, it'll connect to Legends Arceus, it'll even connect to Pokemon Go if you want to pull something down from Pokemon Home, and maybe we'll even Pokemon Go rather, and maybe we'll even look at that here in just a minute. But just to transfer from game to game, basically you just open up Pokemon Home on your Switch, and once you first log in, it's going to ask you for your Nintendo account credentials. Basically, whatever you log into the Nintendo eShop with, and that kind of makes the connection to your account, so it can see all your games you have available to you. And also, additionally, through Pokemon Go, through the game, you're going to need to log in with your Nintendo credentials over there as well. Now, I've already done that, so we're not going to go through that process right here, but it's pretty straightforward when it pops up on the screen and what it needs you to input for that information. And the one thing that threw me after everything was all logged in and ready to go, my screen was blank in what I was seeing. I was like, where are all my Pokemon at? I don't understand what's going on here, because this screen right here was blank. It showed me 0, said I didn't have anything available to me, and there might and if I remember correctly, there's a little tutorial that it walks you through on how to do certain things. But essentially, once you get logged in, it's going to look at all the Pokemon games that you have registered on your Switch. So you can just start by, like I said, this will be blank for you whenever you first log in. Oh, one other thing you can do too, if you see right here, you can actually pull some Pokemon over from DS games if you played anything on DS, but you got to pay a little bit of money for that if I'm not mistaken. So we'll just go into the Pokemon section here that, again, when you first log in, will be blank for you, but you will see the games that you have registered to your account after you get logged in. All the Pokemon games that you have registered to your account. You can see I have Shining Pearl, Arceus, Violet, and Shield, because those are all the Pokemon games that I own. We're not going to talk about my Shield playtime, but let's just start with moving something back and forth. So I'm going to take a Pokemon from Legends Arceus, and I'm going to move it over to Shining Pearl. So to do that, after your game account is connected, you basically just hit the icon for it and you connect to the game. It takes just a second to connect in, and once it's set up here, what you're going to see over on the left hand side is basically your staging box. So these right here, these Pokemon right here are Pokemon that you have taken out of other games and staged inside this box, and you should be able to move these around to other Pokemon games. But I'm going to take, and we know where we are because of this little icon down here in the bottom right hand corner. That's kind of the Legends Arceus icon, so you know which game you're in. And I'm going to grab a Pokemon. I'm going to try to grab one here that I know I don't have in Shining Pearl, and you know what, I'm just going to grab this Mime Jr. right here, because I'm 100% positive I don't have a Mime Jr. in Legends not in Legends Arceus, but Shining Pearl. So I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to transfer it over. So basically, I'm just going to grab it, and I'm going to pull it over to my staging box here, drop it down, and then click the plus button to save it down. Right? Do you want to save your changes and exit? And yes. And we're going to let that save down, and then we'll make the move back over. So I just took the Mime Jr. out of Legends Arceus, and we're going to drop it into not Brilliant Diamond, into Shining Pearl. You got to get those confused, right? So once the save process happens, which should be done here in just a moment. Okay, so now we're done. And just to note, that does take just a little bit of time. I cut some of that out just because it does take just a little bit to process through. They're just, I don't know why, but it just takes a little bit of time to process through. So just be patient. Don't close down Pokemon Home. It should work just fine. But anyway, so once it's all saved down, we can then back out. And now I'm going to go back in to Pokemon. Again, you can see now there's 21 here where there was 20 before. And I'm going to go back in, and now I'm going to go to Shining Pearl. Right? So once I hit yes, I want to connect to this game. It's then going to load up all of my Pokemon and my stage box here in the Pokemon Home. So just give it a minute and let it load up. And once we're all loaded up here, we can now see, now we know we're in Shining Pearl because of our icon down here in the bottom right-hand corner. We got a different set of Pokemon than what we had before. And you can see there's no Mime Jr. here at all. So this is the listing of all my Pokemon here from Shining Pearl. Haven't been playing through. I've been in the playthrough for it, but not completely done yet. But so what we can do now is we can just we can put it really wherever we want to. But I'm just going to go over here to the Mime Jr. I'm going to select them, and I'm going to bring the Mime Jr. over and drop the Mime Jr. here into this box, into the Shining Pearl box. So once that's done, again we're going to hit plus to save it down. And it's going to give you a little warning. And it does this on every Pokemon to kind of let you know that some of the moves and abilities can and will be different between games, depending on what game you brought it in from to where you dropped it to. Some of the move sets can be a little different, so expect a little bit of difference there, but the Pokemon itself is exactly the same. We're going to hit Save Changes and Exit. And again, we're going to give it just a moment or two to save it down. And then we'll check Shining Pearl out. To see where we brought it in. All right, now that our boxes are saved down, this Mime Jr. is now available over in Shining Pearl. And so let me back out of here just to make sure everything saves down. Okay, now you can see the number deposited is 20, so we should be all good to go there. So now we'll jump over to Shining Pearl, and we will look at the Mime Jr. that we just transferred over. So we'll let this load up. Okay, now that Shining Pearl is loading up here, we'll just jump straight into the game. And we'll go take a look at our Mime Jr. that we just brought in from Arceus Legends, or Legends Arceus. I keep saying it backwards. And I'm going to need to fly to a Pokestop location. Okay, so just made a quick flight over to Jubilife City, which is kind of appropriate since we're talking about Legends Arceus to Shining Pearl. So I'm going to go into the Poke Center here, and we're going to go check out the Pokemon, and we will see here now. We will see here now the Mime Jr. that we just deposited. And there we are, Mime Jr. level 4, the same one that we just popped over. And let's check out the summary, because it should tell us that we... Oops. Oh, not you. Come here. Come back here, Mime Jr. There you are. He's getting away from me. There we are, Mime Jr. Okay, so what we want to see now is we want to check out... the Pokemon is pretty relaxed by nature. It seems to have traveled all the way across space and time itself to join me from the Sinnoh region of Old. It's highly persistent. It likes sour food. So when it says it came way across space and time itself, that's kind of the indicator that it came over from Legends Arceus. So that's pretty. It's a pretty cool use case for Pokemon Home to bring Pokemon back and forth between games. You can, like I said, you can bring them in from Shield, you can bring them in from Sword, you can bring them in from Brilliant Diamond, you can even bring them in from Go. And let's actually take a look at Go real fast, because I think that's kind of an interesting use case for for this game, for this Pokemon Home setup. So let's actually do that. So I'm going to switch over to my phone real fast, and we'll take a look at Pokemon Go and see how you transfer those in. So actually, let me switch over to my phone, and we'll be right back. Okay, now over to the phone now. So I'm sitting on the Pokemon Go home screen. So you just go into your menu here to transfer something over. We're going to go to settings in the upper right hand corner, and then we're going to scroll down and go to connected devices and services. So what this will do is this will let us, from here, we'll see Nintendo Switch, Pokemon Home devices, and I'm going to go to Pokemon Home. And I'm going to send a Pokemon to Pokemon Home. So we're going to send Pokemon. And you got to have some transporter energy for that. I've got some. So as long as you got some transporter energy, you should not have any trouble doing that. And let's just find a good Pokemon to send over from here. So let's find. How about this Houndour? Let's click on Houndour, and we'll go next. And we'll go transport. And it's going to use my transporter energy. And we've sent it over to Pokemon Home. So we'll click done. And we can just go back to, now we can switch back over to the Switch, and we can see Pokemon Home from there, and that Houndour that we just deposited. So we'll switch back over. And now we're back in Pokemon Home. And with us being back in Pokemon Home, now we can see the Houndour that we just pushed over. And we'll let that log in. Okay, and it says you can see one or more Pokemon transferred from Pokemon Go has been found. And you receive the Pokemon Home by selecting the Pokemon Go in the main menu. So there we go. So we're going to go to Pokemon Go, which you can see right here. It's got the little red dot over it. Going to select that. And we're just going to check for the ones that just got transferred in. And there is our Houndour, and I want to receive it. And it'll do its thing here. And once it's all received, you get the confirmation that it's been received successfully. And now we should see it in our Pokemon staging box here. So let's say we want to move this. Let's say we want to move this to Shining Pearl as well. Why not? Connect to game, yes. And there's our Houndour. There he is right there. So let's move Houndour over. How about that? As well. And we'll just kind of take a look and see how that looks, and then we'll go ahead and save it down. And again, gives us the warning, save changes, same process as before. And our boxes have been saved, and we are good to go. And we'll back out of here, and then again we'll jump back over to Shining Pearl. Now back over into Shining Pearl, we are still in the Jubilife Poke Center, and we're going to boot up our PC again. And there is our Houndour, level 18 Houndour, sitting now inside of Shining Pearl that we just transferred in from Pokemon Go. And let's give him a little summary check here and see what he says. This Pokemon is pretty modest by nature. It seems to have traveled all the way across space and time itself to join me from Pokemon Go. It's alert to sounds. It likes dry food. So there you go. So there's a transfer in from Pokemon Go. And just kind of how you transfer a Pokemon around inside from Pokemon Home to your different Pokemon games. So I really appreciate you watching. I know I super enjoyed finding Pokemon Home and what all it can do for you inside the Pokemon games and how you can transfer the Pokemon around. Just a really neat concept, and I just want to share it for anyone who might be struggling or just enjoys watching content like this. So I appreciate your time. If you like content like this and you want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe, and you'll get your notifications as new videos drop, because I mentioned working on Pokemon Arceus, working on Pokemon Shining Pearl, so all those will be coming soon, so I hope you look out for them. So thanks for watching, and as always, have a gooder.